Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sandeep Gaute. I welcome you all to my YouTube channel English Guru for All. Dear students, in this video I'll explain the poem I Sit and Look Out written by Walt Whitman, an American poet. Students, what is the title of the poem? I Sit and Look Out. I'm asking you because you need to think about the title first, so at least you can guess what is the meaning of the title. Now, the words which are very important in this poem, I sit and look out. So here you can understand who is this I. Who is this I? You can guess that this is nothing but the poet, or you can say the speaker of the poem. And this word indicates what? Sit. It indicates what? Just the inactiveness and just the observer. Look out. I sit and look out. This particular sentence indicates what? There is inactivity of the speaker, just, or you can say what? The speaker is an observer. Now we are going to discuss in detail about this poem. Let us start with the poem. This poem is prescribed in various universities for various branches, just like BCom, BSc, 10, even ICSE, CBSE, and many more. So this is useful for all the students. So let us start with the poem now. Before starting the poem, we must know something about the poet. And who is the poet? Walt Whitman. Now on the screen you can see this picture. This is the picture of Walt Whitman. So you need to understand this first. He was born in 1819 and he died in 1892. This is also very important. He was influential poet in American literature. So Walt Whitman was the influential poet in American literature. He worked as the typesetter for newspapers and journals. He is considered as the father of free verse. This is very important, dear students. Free verse. So he wrote in free verse. You need to know what is the concept of free verse. Means not following any kind of rhyming scheme or not following any kind of pattern there. Pattern of rhyming scheme. So he is called the father of free verse. So you need to understand this concept also. What is the meaning of free verse? Already I told you this one in short. He published his most famous book, and the title of the book is The Leaves of Grass, and it was published in 1855. It was edited so many times and he added so many poems in the book. And what is the title of the book? That is Leaves of Grass. So you need to know this one. Even this poem, I Sit and Look Out, is the part of Leaves of Grass. Walt Whitman is considered a trailblazer. What is the meaning of trailblazer? Innovator in both the form and content of his poetry. Means what form? Already I told you that he invented his own form, as well as the content of his poetry are unique and universal. You need to understand this one. Self-awareness. He talks a lot about self-awareness. Even in this poem, the starting of the poem indicates what? What is the starting or even the title? That is I sit. So this I indicates what? Self-awareness. Oneself is very important. So we are going to discuss what is the exact meaning, and knowing about the poet is very important also. It will help you to understand the poem. So whatever we discuss right now, this is all about Walt Whitman. I'll tell you certain names of the books he wrote, like Franklin Evans. It was published in 1842. Drum Taps, it was published in 1865. Then Memoranda During the War, Specimen Days, and Democratic Vistas, it was published in 1817. Both are the different books actually. Memoranda During the War, Specimen Days, and what is there? Democratic Vistas, it was published in 1871. So I told you certain names, but what is important over here? Knowing about basic things. So Walt Whitman, he was from America, influential poet. He worked as the typesetter. He is called the father of free verse, and the most famous book is Leaves of Grass. It was published in 1855. Now, what is about the poem? This is just the introduction. This is just the introductory part. And what is there in the poem? The poem is a cry of anguish. The poem is nothing but a cry of anguish. Anguish means what? A severe mental or physical pain. Anguish means what? Severe or very serious mental or physical pain and all the things that are going wrong in this world. Now this is nothing but a kind of cry. Cry means what? You can say some kind of observations are made in this poem. The poet observed certain things around him and he is going to tell so many wrong things are there. So the poem is pessimistic in nature. What is the tone of the poem? That is a pessimistic. The poet is simply observing the helpless to do anything against these injustices. So this is important now. The poet has become just the observer and observing helpless people are there and he cannot do anything. He is just the observer and he can observe the injustices in the society. Nobody speaks of these wrong deeds means what? Wrong actions. So they remain hidden. Now we are going to say which are these different helpless people, as well as what kind of injustice is there, what kind of wrong deeds or actions are there, and they are hidden. So this is, in short, this is, you can say what, the theme of this poem. In detail, I am going to talk about the theme or the central idea of the poem after discussion of the poem, but at least before starting the poem, you should know something about the poem. So you need to keep in mind that there are so many wrong things, and who is the observer there? The poet is the observer. The poet is not going to do anything, not going to help others. What does it mean? So here you need to understand why this inactivity is there. He is just the observer, but at least he is telling us there are so many wrong things and we can understand, okay, what is going on in the society. Now, what is the poem? This is the poem. First, I am going to read the poem, so you need to understand what is there. I sit and look out. This title is there. Already I showed you the title on the very first slide. Now I am going to read. I sit, look out upon all the sorrows of the world and upon all oppression and shame. I hear sacred convulsive sobs from young men at anguish with themselves, remorseful after deeds done. I see in low life the mother misused by her children, dying, neglected, gaunt, desperate. I see the wife misused by her husband. I see the treacherous seducer of young women. I mark the racklings of jealousy and unrequited love attempted to be hid. I see these sights on the earth. I see the workings of battle, pestilence, tyranny. I see martyrs and prisoners. I observe from mine at sea. I observe the sailors casting lots who shall be killed to preserve the lives of the rest. I observe the slights and degradations cast by arrogant persons upon laborers, the poor, and upon Negroes and the like. All these, all the meanness and agony without end, I sitting look out upon, see, hear, and am silent. Dear students, you need to read this poem properly. If you understand something, at least 20% you can understand after reading the poem. When you read the poem, you can understand there are so many negative words. So many negative words are there. So we are going to discuss the poem line by line. So explanation of the poem is there now. So what is the first one? I sit and look out upon all the sorrows of the world and upon all oppression and shame. I hear sacred convulsive sobs from young men and at anguish with themselves, remorseful after deeds done. Now, what is the observation of the poet here? Now, what is the starting here? I sit and look out. So, this is just the action of the poet. What is that? What he observed? That is nothing but there are just sorrows are there, sorrows of the world, sadness of all kind, and this world, entire world, is not talking about just this area, not just of one nation, he is talking about the entire world. and he's saying that okay, I'm observing all over, there is just what, sadness of all kind, and upon all oppression. What is the meaning of oppression? That is prolonged, cruel and unjust treatment is there, wrong treatment is there, and there is a disgrace, dishonor and disrespect, that is nothing but shame. Dear students, these words are very important. The poet is observing this world, and how is the world? The world is full of sadness. The world is full of unjust treatment, unjust behavior and cruel behavior, and you can observe only dishonor and disrespect of each other. So this is all about human beings, you need to know, and even we can observe all these things. So here I hear secret convulsive sobs, even I hear. What I hear? Secret means they are hidden, not disclosed. Convulsive means violent and uncontrollable movements, uncontrollable cry, you can say. What is the meaning of sob? That is cry from young men. So here the poet is observing that young men are there, youths are there, and they are what? Sacred means hidden, uncontrollable cry. And anguish, what is the meaning of anguish? Because these young men have certain physical or mental pain, and that is very serious and very severe. So we need to understand. And what is there the most important? With themselves, they are not telling anything to others. So this is, everything is hidden there. Remorseful means what? There is feeling of guilty also. They have done something wrong, and some deeds, after deeds done. Deeds means what? Actions. So here the poet is telling there are young men and they are crying secretly because of what? They did something wrong. So what are there? So what are the causes? Causes are not told here. These are just the observations. Even deeds are not mentioned in the poem. Deeds means what? Actions are not mentioned. So these are just the final conclusions or the observations of the poet we can understand from these lines. So deliberately I have given important words over here, because without understanding these words, you cannot understand what are the observations there of the poet, of the world. What is in the first one? In the first line you can understand the poet is talking about the world. In the second line you can understand the poet is talking about young men, and everything is negative there, negative observation is there. So I request each and every student to go through this particular list, so it will be useful to understand this poem. Now hope you understood this one, and now I'm going to discuss the next one. I see. What is there? I see in low life the mother misused by her children, dying, neglected, gaunt and desperate. I see the wife misused by her husband. I see the treacherous seducer of young women. Now in these two lines you can understand how mother and wife both are misused. But what is the condition of mother? I see in low life. This is very important. Here must be a comma and here must be a comma. In low life means what? Is it talking about the lower class of the society? Is it so? It may be like this. It may be like this. The mother misused by her children. The mother misused. So who are misusing mother? Children. Now this is not good condition. He is talking about the family. And what is the condition of mother? That is she is dying now. She is dying. She is completely neglected, ignored. She is ignored. Nobody is ready to look after her. What is the meaning of gone? That is, what is the physical condition of mother? She is thin, physically weak, and she is worried now. She is worried. Now you can understand, you can imagine this one. So mother is misused by her children, and she is dying, she is ignored, she is physically weak, she is thin even, and what is that? She is also worried. So what the hell kind of life is there? And this is the observation of the poet Walt Whitman. This is really, we need to think about. Definitely it's only the negative things are given there. It doesn't mean that entire world is full of negativity, but such things are happening in the society. That is the poet is trying to say. Now in this line, this particular, I see the wife. Now here you can understand that he is talking about, let me take this one, okay, mother is there, okay, and what is over here? Wife. Now what is the condition of women? And then young women, seducer of young women. So the pathetic condition of women is also given over here. A woman is nothing but a mother, wife, and everything. So here you need to understand the relation, the condition of women in the society. Now mother is misused, dying, neglected, then thin, physically weak. And what is the condition of wife? I see the wife misused by her husband. Now who is misusing the husband? Who is misusing a wife? Nothing but her husband. I see the treacherous. Treacherous means what? To betray or deceive someone. Is it so? Is the husband betraying or deceiving his wife? So there may be certain examples in the society, even we can observe. And even he observed that treacherous seducer of young women. So young women are they are used, they are seduced by. Seducer means what? A person who entices someone in wrong activity. It can be what, any kind of, it can be related to different things. You can see what is the meaning of seducer in detail also. So seducing, it can be in any way. So this is just the condition of woman that is observed by the poet. So in these two lines, or in these two lines you can understand what? The condition of women. Even this is what pathetic. Whenever you are going to observe this one, it doesn't mean that the life of each and every wife or young woman is just like this. There is also goodness, but these are just the observations of what? Whitman. Now even important words are given. They are very useful to understand these lines. Now the next one we are going to discuss. Okay. I mark the racklings of jealousy and unrequited love attempted to be hid. I see these sights on the earth. I see the workings of battle, pestilence, tyranny. I see martyrs and prisoners. This is also important. Now in these lines you can understand that I mark. What does the poet mark? That is the racklings. What is the meaning of rackling? Continuous anger, pain, irritation of jealousy. Jealousy is there, means distrust is there. Anger is there, anger in distrust. And because of what? Unrequited love. This is very important word. Unrequited. I am going to make the box to this one. What is the meaning of unrequited? Unrequited means unfulfilled, one-sided, you can say also. Now it may be he might have observed all these things in the society. Now unrequited love is there, therefore jealousy is there, therefore wrong deeds. So somewhere before we discussed about young men. So it may be related to unrequited love. Unfulfilled love of people can be there, and therefore anger is there, pain is there, irritation is there, distrust is there, you can see. And I see these sights on the earth. He is talking about that. On the earth means in the entire world. Not only in particular country, not only in particular society, but he is talking about the entire earth in the world. He observed all these things. Anger is there, pain is there, and distrust is there, and unfulfilled love is there. Now I see the workings of battle. He says workings of battle, pestilence, tyranny. I see martyrs and prisoners. Now he is talking about battle. Domestic fights can be there. He may be talking about fights of existence. It may be related to the fight among the nations also. So because he is talking about the entire world, he is not talking about particular society. At the same time, oneself. So oneself means what? The condition of oneself. So that may be the battle. The battle may not be physical only. It can be the battle of your mind also. What is pestilence? Deadly disease. Workings of battles is talking about deadly disease is there, deadly diseases are there. Tyranny means dictatorship. He observed even dictatorship in the world. You see, even martyrs means what? A constant sufferer from an ailment also. So even you can take what? A person who died, who suffered just because of a religious belief also, that is martyrs. And prisoners are there, captives, criminals are there, criminals. As the tone of the poem is pessimistic, so the meanings, I took the meanings of these words in this context only, so you need to understand these words. What is my observation about this poem? Everything depends upon the meanings of these words. Then and then you can understand the context, then and then you can interpret the poem properly. If you do not know the meaning of the word pestilence, you cannot understand the poem. Okay, even you cannot understand, if you cannot understand the word tyranny, you cannot understand the poem. It means what? If you know the meanings, then and then you can put these words in particular context. So meanings, important words are given here, just like rankling, jealousy, unrequited, battle, pestilence, tyranny, martyrs, and what is the prisoners. So even this is the condition of the entire world, and the poet is not talking only about particular country, is talking about the entire world. And the word earth indicates this one. Now hope you understood this one. Next one, I observe a famine at sea. Now this is the specific observation. This is the specific observation. I observe a famine at sea. What is that famine? Scarcity of, severe scarcity of, the meaning is given here. Extreme scarcity of food, lack of food at sea. And what is the condition at sea? Somebody you can say there is a ship also, and people are selling there, sailors are there. Okay, that is given in this over here. I observe the sailors. I observe the sailors are there, casting lots who shall be killed to preserve the lives of the rest. Casting lots. What a lottery system is there, and this is pathetic for the sake of what? Living life. So there is no food. That is why there is a lottery system, and therefore shall be killed to preserve. So someone is being killed, or someone is killed for what sake? To preserve the lives of rest, means to save, preserve. Now you can imagine what is the pathetic. This is very horrific condition, very horrific. We cannot imagine. It means what? Human is eating another human, and this is also observed. Even there are so many when true events are there. So this is, it happened even. So you can find out certain such examples also, just because of what? Extreme scarcity of food. And it happened where? At sea. And it happened among whom? Sailors who are sailing there. And who observed this one? The poet observed. I observe. This is nothing but repetition in the poem. Repetition. Or I observe, you can say this is also anaphora. Anaphora means repetition of a word or a phrase at the starting of the sentence of the stanza or the poem, and even a repetition is there. These are the important words. Famine means what? That is extreme scarcity of food, casting a lottery system, preserve means save. Now what is there? I observe the slights and degradations caused by arrogant persons upon laborers, the poor, upon negroes, and the like. Slights means what? Trivial, insignificant. And suffer or loss, yes, should be there. Suffer, double S must be there. Okay, suffer a loss of pride and dignity. So no dignity is there. Now this is in context, you can understand this one properly. This particular line. What is there? Slights and degradations are there. Slights means insignificant life, and people are living such kind of life. And who are these people? And they are degraded. They are degraded because they do not have dignity. They do not have dignity. They are not respected. They do not have any respect in the society. And who are doing this one? Arrogant persons are there in the society. So he may be talking about the system in the society. System in the society, that is it may be creed is there, casteism is there, then you can say what? That is black and black and white, that is races, related to races. So who are these arrogant persons? You can put this one in the context and you can understand that these arrogant persons are using these laborers, workers are there, then poor people are there, then Negroes. So Negroes are just the representatives of all the people who are poor, and the like. So others are there also. So all these are the important words, so you need to understand. He is talking about, the poet is focusing on different aspects of the society. Now the next one, this is the last part. All the meanness and agony without end, I sitting look out upon, see, hear, and am silent. Now see what is there. Meanness means cheap behavior, not good, ill treatment is there. So all these, whatever I discussed before, the poet is saying, whatever I mentioned in the before lines, all the meanness, all such kind of cheap behavior, agony, all these kinds of sufferings without end, and they will not end at all. They will not end at all, without end. This is very important part. I sitting look out upon, and I sit and look out. I can see, I can hear, but I am silent. I am inactive. I cannot do anything. I cannot help others also. What is this exactly? There may be situations where you cannot help people. You can understand there is injustice. Still you cannot do anything. It may happen. And see and hear, there are oxymoron is there. Oxymoron, contradict. See and hear. These are the contradictory terms are there. So in this way I discussed the meaning of the poem. Hope you understood this one. Now we are going to focus on the central idea or the theme of the poem. Now you need to understand, the poem echoes means this poem is all about miseries, means suffering and atrocities of life, the problems of life that rose to the surface in the wake of capitalism. This is very important. Capitalism is there, and you can observe, you need to understand this term capitalism. So different things are there under capitalism. I request each and every student to understand and to look for the meaning of capitalism. 19th century witnessed a sea of change in the lives of people as a rat race for materialistic possession became more prominent, and it happened because of what? Materialistic possession, luxuries. So materialistic, physical life, you can say physical luxury, people are just looking for that one, and that is why such things happen there. The advent of capitalism had a tremendous impact on the lives of the people, and in the manipulative and calculative rat race, principles were relegated and human concerns and emotions were sidelined. Means what? Only profit, and what I want, everything materialistic. I want this, that, everything, and all these are the outcomes of capitalism. All these are the outcomes of capitalism. So you need to understand this one properly. In context, you can even put this one, capitalism. Let me tell you the meaning of it. What does it mean exactly? So you need to understand this word, otherwise you may have the problem. The economic system in which businesses are owned and run for profit by individuals and not by the state, means privatization is there. And all these are the outcomes of privatization. Who is saying this one? This is just the capitalism, contemporary. You need to understand this. So this can be the context. This can be the context to understand the poem. Now what is, some more things are there about this one, about the poem theme and central idea. The poet paints pictures of such a sad tale of human life by attempting to pose an onlooker who watches everything but does nothing to alter situations. Now the poet presented the picture of sad tale. This is sad tales. It is very sad tale means what? Story of human life. Tale means what? A story of human life. And what is the work of the poet? Just as onlooker, and the poet cannot alter these situations. I sit and look out describes a dark, sad, corrupted, sorrowful world after the World War II. You can understand this is even another situation, okay? And the poem is largely about the different kinds of social evils like injustice, humiliation, sufferings, exploitation, then of the poor and oppression of the weak that existed in the society. The tone of the poem is pessimistic and the imagery presented apocalyptic. So all these are the very important things there. Already I told you, I explained the entire poem, so everything is there. Evils are there like injustice, humiliation, sufferings and exploitation. So this is all about the poems, you can say what? The poems are different aspects and the most important theme and central idea. Now this is the last part. You need to find out the examples of alliteration, anaphora, repetition, oxymoron. Even I told you the example of oxymoron, that is see here and I am silent. Anaphora, that is nothing but what? A repetition of certain phrases at the initial sentences, just like I see, like this, and even repetition, I observe, then I observe. Then oxymoron is there, so you can find out the example. These are the figures of speech which are used in this poem. So this is also the important part. You need to mention this one. If you want to know more about figures of speech, you just visit my YouTube channel. There is a playlist. Go under playlist and see that there is a separate playlist figures of speech, and I made separate video on each and every figure of speech. So hope you understood this particular poem. Thank you so much. I request everyone to subscribe the channel, like and share the video. Dear students, if you have any doubts, any problems, you can put that one in the comment box, or you can send me the message on WhatsApp. Already my number is on my YouTube channel, and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications and videos. Thank you so much.